Back in my junior year of high school, my social studies teacher, Mr. Lee, told me and my class about how we were going to get into this program where we would actually meet Morgan Freeman, Kerry Washington. So like he kind of like boosted it up so we'd be all excited, and then we found out that we had to read in front of a crowd.
I was just in class in AP Government, and my teacher, Mr. Leslie, he just was like, "Oh, hey, this book is really cool. You guys should read it."
We read Howard Zinn's People's History of the United States, and like everyone was very, very interested in it. Mr. Lee, my teacher, told us about a different book that Anthony and Howard Zinn wrote. And Anthony wanted to work with us because they had worked with actors who have taken pieces of those books and performed it, and they wanted to do it with high school students.
The Voices program was started last year with the senior class. It was a discussion that was had through Lincoln Center, through the atrium at Lincoln Center, and through Anthony Arnov, the co-editor.
We did our first performance of Voices of People's History of the United States in 2003 at the 92nd Street Y. And at the time we thought it might just be a one-off event. However, the reaction of the audience made us realize there was something here and that really we should try to find a way to continue this project. And then we also realized that there was a whole component that could be very powerfully relevant to schools and to high school education in particular.
We saw that this was a way for students to look at history as almost a work of art and to make it their own, to provide their lens, bring their interpretation to the text, and then to live it in many ways.
We started off by picking a voice in the book that we identified with.
I looked carefully and I was looking for something that I could connect to. I found Sojourner Truth by Ain't I a Woman and Abby Lincoln, and I felt like what they said was really strong and should be heard.
I was just flipping through the pages and I found a speech by Muhammad Ali, and I just decided I'm doing that one. And I actually had to like get into it with one of my friends because he said that he wanted to do it. So we like rock, paper, scissors over it. I got it.
I knew right off the bat that I wanted to do something by a woman. The voice that I chose was by Angela Davis, and it was called Political Prisoners and Black Liberation.
The name of my voice is Yamaoka Michiko, 800 meters from the Hypercenter. It like really got to me, and it just like connected with me. It wasn't really weird for me to choose a girl voice because a girl is as powerful as a man. We're both the same.
It's been thrilling to see how they respond to the material and how over the course of a year their understanding of the pieces that they're working on, the context, the meaning of those pieces deepens, and then to see them transform as readers, as people who can stand in front of a room, as people who can perform and give expression to those voices.
Why should they ask me to put on a uniform and go 10,000 miles from home to drop bombs and bullets on brown people in Vietnam?
The public performance I was nervous about because I didn't know that the kids were going to bite into it as much as they did.
I felt something strong. It was terribly intense.
But what I did, I showed snippets from different performances of artists that I knew that they would recognize. I said, oh, well, by the way, you guys are going to be performing. And at that point, the excitement was there.
It wasn't heat. You can't really say it was yellow. And it wasn't blue. At that moment, I thought to myself that I would die.
When I was performing at Lincoln Center, I went into it like it was my piece, like it was mine.
Evil? Evil, you say? The black woman is hurt, confused, frustrated, angry, resentful, and frightened. Who in the hell suggests that she should be otherwise?
I'm happy I had that experience. I was really proud of myself. That's why I love theater, is because every time I perform, I feel good about myself.
And I am so thrilled to have you out for tonight's performance.
We at the Atrium have a long history of working with high schoolers. I think that they're a group of people who are often underserved, and maybe they don't have the right to vote yet, but they have a voice, and we wanted them to feel empowered.
We're advised that as long as we remain faithful to the existing democratic order,
The glorious moment will eventually arrive when we
They come and they perform, and I am blown away. We have two amazing teaching artists that go in and work with these kids all year long. They are Brian Jones and Susie Porfar.
Susie would like to lead us in a warm-up. Just shake it out. Shake 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Some of us weren't comfortable with reading in front of people, but now that we're going up in front of the class and they hear the applause afterwards, yeah, everybody just been lifted up as a whole.
This program actually teaches how to be confident, how to actually speak out, and that's just really powerful.
I think if you want to be the type of person that makes a change in the world, this is the type of program that'll give you that head start of who you identify as and what you want to fight for, because every voice in the book is fighting for something.
The impact of Voices in general as a class has been huge, and for individual students it's been exponentially huge, and it's life-affirming for me.
Presenting voices of a people's history of the United States is important to us because the atrium is a public space, and I think that as one of the places and one of the responsibilities as a public space is that we have a place for civic engagement, and that we really truly represent all of our community and all of who Lincoln Center can serve.
I hope people come away from Voices performances with a sense that history matters and with a sense that their voice matters. For me, giving people a sense of their own power, the role that they can play if they combine with others and organize around issues of concern to them, that they can actually influence the course of history. That history isn't made by great people, history is made by ordinary people. That history is not just something in a library, it's not a dusty book on a shelf, it's not something that ended in 1969 like my history textbooks did in high school, but it's something that we're all actively part of, engaging and making and hopefully changing for the better.